can't," he said harshly. "You want it, don't you? You want my big hard cock remaining in your ass. You want me to fuck your pussy till it's black and blue. Say it," I gasped, on the brink of orgasm, but shook my head, squirming away. "Oh," Nick hissed. "Still a good little girl, eh? Miss Society, all cool and nice." He grabbed my hair and forced my face down on the bed, pulling my jeans inside out over my boots and flinging them aside. He untied my hands and pulled my sweater over my head, leaving me naked except for my boots. He ran his hand along my back, letting it rest lightly for a moment on my upturned theory. Thought he hadn't threatened or hit me. I sensed the curbed power beneath his touch. I felt humiliated and vulnerable as he continued to stroke my quivering ass cheeks, running his hands along the inside of my things and touching the aching lips of my pussy. My heart was pounding, and I literally shivered in an anticipation of his next move. My body began to grow warm. The gentle, methodical stroking held an implicit threat of punishment that increased the sexual tension until I thought I would explode. I felt like a violin string being stretched tighter and tighter. I gasped as his hand cracked across my naked behind and my buttock muscles clenched in anticipation of the next slap. He held back, forcing me to relax, and then delivered a blow that made me cry out with pain. He continued to whack my defenseless behind until my cheeks were burning, but each stroke fueled the fire growing in my loins. My cries of pain turned to moans of pleasure. I spread my legs, my hips rising off the sheets as if to welcome each stinging slap. Then, suddenly, something inside me snapped and I began to cry, my entire body shaken with great, racking sobs. Nick immediately stopped spanking me. My things were forced wide apart, and I felt a large object sliding into my aching pussy. The combination of the intense pain and the spanking and the feeling of fullness in my cunt drove me to new erotic heights of pleasure. "Give it to me," I screamed, my hips bucking with his thrusts and my hands clawing at the sheets. "I want all you've got. Give it to me. You've got it, baby." "Baby," Nick crooned. "Not my cock, or my finger either. You've got my fist shoved up your hole." The words had a cataclysmic effect. I could not believe how open and wet I was. The experience was such an emotional high that I climaxed with a shattering intensity that made the room spin. I must have passed out. When I opened my eyes, my boots had been removed, and Nick was lying naked beside me beneath the sheets. His skin felt cool against my own. As I snuggled against him, I felt the welcome bugle of his cock along my thigh, and thought my ass still burned and my pussy ached from our recent love-making. I wanted more than anything to give him pleasure. Nick's hands were in my hair. He kissed me passionately, his tongue probing my mouth. Then he guided my head to his chest, matted with thick, dark hair. I ran my tongue over his nipples, teasing them with my lips and teeth. I moved downward into the warm cocoon of darkness under the sheet, my lips and tongue tracing a warm, moist trail over the muscled hardness of his rib cage and the taut skin of his stomach. The short, springy hairs, now damp and fragrant with my saliva, brushed my breasts as I moved. I closed my eyes and breathed in the tangy male scent of his body as my lips touched the baby soft skin of his cock. He gave a lone groan as I cubed his balls, taking first one and then the other into my mouth. I kissed his pubic area and the hollow where his tongue joined the hip. I could see his cock in the half-darkness beneath the sheets, the wringed flesh now smooth and distended with passion. I wriggled farther down, nestling between his legs. I ran the tips of my nails lightly along his shaft, coaxing him to a steely erection. Then, placing my mouth over the helmet-like head of his cock, I eased my lips over his targing poil, taking as much of him down my throat as I could. He cried out, his hips arching upward, his torso backed spasmodically, and I dug my fingers into his ass cheeks, fighting to keep his thrusting cock in my mouth. Nick's hands were on my head, and the entire bed vibrated as his hips bounced up and down. I sucked him hungrily, humming deep in my throat, so that my entire mouth vibrated as I worked. I sensed his whole body stiffen, then collapse, as his control broke, and waves of hot, creamy cum spilled into my mouth. Like a starving woman, I swallowed his warm milk, relishing the rich texture and slightly salty taste. Then, totally exhausted, I pillowed my cheek on his now flaccid cock, my hand absently stroking his belly as I came slowly back to reality. I felt his hand stroking my hair, and then, when I stirred, he quickly threw off the sheet and gathered me into his arms. I felt his lips on mine, and as he deepened the kiss, I sighed softly, giving myself up to his embrace. He pushed me back against the pillows, and his eyes burning with desire as he drank in the sight of my naked body, now soft and yielding, totally his. "You are beautiful," he whispered. "I want to make love to you, not just your breasts or your ass or your cunt, but to Christina, to all of you."